haven't heard the phrase commissioning, it can sound a bit strange, a bit frightening even, but actually done properly, it can be an immensely positive experience. Fundamentally, commissioning is about the what, the how and the why. What are we trying to do with the service we're providing? Who are we trying to help? What are the issues we're trying to address? The how is how best to deliver it. Sometimes we are, sometimes other people are best placed. And the why is, in a sense, how does this sit with our other priorities and key issues that we're trying to deal with? So it's fundamentally reviewing what we do. And in that sense, it's incredibly important. And if it's done well, can lead to better services and indeed actually greater efficiency. Well, I think there have been two changes in the environment for public service that have made the issue of commissioning really important. The first is the realisation that we're here really to serve the public. That may sound very obvious, but sometimes we lose sight of that and we think more about our organisation or our own issues rather than what really matters in terms of the people we're there to serve. Good commissioning can force you to ask those questions. Second thing, and much more an issue in the UK than it has been so far in Australia, is austerity. We have seen huge reductions in our budgets, and that really compels you to think fundamentally about what you do and why. Well, in a way, commissioning comes ahead of these other things like outsourcing, and they don't necessarily need to lead to outsourcing either, because you start with the question about what's the service there for and how is it best delivered. Sometimes actually the individual should buy the service, such as the ideas of personalisation lead you to, but it isn't the same as outsourcing. It may go to outsourcing, it's one of the options you should always have in your mind, but it is different really from that particular approach. Well, the skills that public servants need, I think, are quite different from the ones they've needed in the past. They need very strong analytical skills to actually understand really what are the service needs, what are the needs of the users. They need very strong partnership skills, because often the best way to deliver now is working with others across particular services that are affected here. And thirdly, you really need to have that ability to specify what you want to deliver and then allow others to do the creative thinking about how best to deliver it. If you get it right on commissioning, you can make a massive impact. One of the examples I'm going to use in the conference today is an example of major trauma services in London, which 10 years ago was some of the worst in the world, in fact. A commissioning process looked at how that was delivered, changed the standards, the expectations, and you know, the first year of the revised operation saved 56 lives that would otherwise have been lost. That's a powerful example of what you can do through really effective, well thought through commissioning. Well, I think there's a lot we can learn. Actually, we can learn from failures as well as successes. Sometimes they're the most interesting, but I would pick out particularly the issue of good program management, the skills in being able to define the kind of services you want. I think it's really, really important that you know how to work with other providers to see what they can offer, understand your market, but most of all, you need to understand the customer. Who are you trying to serve? So I think we can learn that if you get those things right, if you do it in an organised way with clear timetables, you can very invariably produce a better service with potentially no additional cost.